Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Streggy, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did.
All right, after that short break, we are back. We had a cat jump and end the discussion for us for a moment.
So this is our Skelton 3.
Even they were done with our discussion before we even began.
So Skelton Key 3 review part 2. Not to be confused with the Skelton 3 part 2 review.
Right. But anyways, okay.
I think
need help with the plot line, Jake.
Well, I think right before we were interrupted, we were talking about the appearance of a skeleton key in this one.
Yeah.
And it kind of threw off a comment I was going to make, but it still holds for the first two. I wonder if you guys had thought of this. I don't think this was brought up the first 2 weeks. But you know how everything takes place in Nilbog, which of course is obviously a reference to Troll 2, which had no trolls in it. So do you think the idea of a Skeleton Key movie with no key in it is also a reference to Troll 2?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that the key finally showed up,
Right. Like I said,
it didn't show up until like
near the end of
it, 3/4 of the way into the movie.
Yeah. So like I said, 5 hours into this hour-and-a-half long series, we finally see
Well, since I brought us through the first impressions here, Jake, do you think you can take a gander at the plot and bringing us forward?
I mean, I'll do a little bit. Honestly, I am not going to even attempt to do it beat by beat. But the basic setup, of course, is that in the aftermath of the second movie, where they end by basically going, oh shit, we forgot all about Cornelius. Apparently, they just go on home and go about their lives. And Howard has lost his mojo and somehow found himself back in the employ of the asshole that he had working for him in the second movie. And he just is completely given up on life, basically, and just going through the motions. Arbuckle is living with him now, and for some reason, and I think they did this for no other reason than they wanted to do a butt pirate joke that somehow got extended to an hour-and-a-half long. Arbuckle has changed teams, as it were. And Nick Copernicus shows up and says, hey, we need to go get Cornelius, save him. And meanwhile, we have Neil with his so-called fan club of people he's kidnapped to watch the new movie with him. And that's really your setup. Nick, the whatever Haitian dude, gets fed up with trying to talk Howard into going back to Nilbog. He goes back. He hooks up with a paramilitary group that apparently Mandy is part of, and a couple of other dudes, and the Invisible Guy is part of this group. And Howard just mopes about until he has a encounter with his drunk asshole father, and then he just kind of wanders back to the town himself because he basically has nothing better to do. And then, of course, once everyone's back in Nilbog, shit happens. So that's the setup.
Yeah. basically. And Copernicus, well, he goes ahead with his dog, and yeah, shit
And
happens to him too.
apparently he sends his dog to get the supplies, and it gets kidnapped by the doctor, who somehow takes it under his wing, and the dog ends up chilling with the mad doctor for most of the movie.
Well, and the doctor himself, well, he somehow, through some of the movie, has created another version of Howard.
Yeah,
And he
White
calls
Coat
him
Howard.
White Coat Howard. And White Coat Howard, well, he ends up going with this sniper group or whatnot, Splinter Cell group. And I know he rolls around with Mandy a lot.
Yeah.
And I know there's a moment where he actually sneaks away and talks to the doctor, and he's like, "What are you doing? I told you to look for the skeleton key." Or whatnot. And that is thrown in there. And that's just kind of like a back plot, you know?
Yeah.
But
we should also mention, I somehow have we've all forgotten, because he's pointless. He's a waste of space and has been from the first movie. Somehow the vampire leprechaun is still around. Somehow he gets muzzled and taken back with them to Nilbog, where he helps them. And he does nothing but just kind of is there. And it's one of the most pointless things in the whole franchise. I don't get the point of that character.
Just the random random vampire leprechaun in the background, yeah.
He doesn't even have a name. They just call him God. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Why is he there? Why bother? What's the point? Yeah. Anyway.
Just to have a strange mascot to bring along.
I guess.
There for the show. There to be entertaining.
Is
there to be weird and that thing that you remember from that movie that probably should have never happened.
Right.
All right. So Howard, well, how does his evil even come out this time?
He gets attacked by something. I can't even.
A rabbit.
A what? Oh yes, a rabbit.
Okay, so he gets attacked by a rabbit, and then I guess he goes rabid and starts seeing evil as a hot woman.
Right. Ish.
And she flashes him a couple of times.
And that's basically all she does. It's like she forces him to get off. She flashes her boobies. And that's really it. She doesn't heckle. She doesn't do much of anything except just hover around doing that stuff. It's like she's almost as pointless as the leprechaun in this movie.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. It just seems to just go namby-pamby everywhere in this movie, and it makes it so freaking confusing to me.
And he meets, of course, another bevy of cute girls. There's like 4 of them, but one of them spends the whole night outside standing guard. And between them, they apparently have about 10 functioning brain cells. And the one who survives long enough to see the doctor at the end, he straight kills her because she's too stupid to live. And it's like, I can't blame him, honestly. It's like, I don't know. It's there's zombies again, of course.
Actually, those aren't zombies. Those aren't zombies. Those are blue meanies.
Well,
Those are
they
blue
call them
meanies.
zombies, but yes, they are. Yeah, they're more like blue meanies. Call them zombies.
They're blue zombies.
I swear they get bluer with each movie.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, zombies were never blue.
Yeah.
Well, okay, they were in bad zombie movies from like the 70s.
So maybe they're rejects from Blue Man Group auditions. I don't know. They're
Okay, this is really a live action Beatles Yellow Submarine movie. Don't get me wrong.
no. If they can call a movie with no keys in it until the end, a Skeleton Key franchise, then a movie with no submarines could be called Yellow Submarine. Huh? It works.
But in any case, and he runs into a chick that apparently had been turned into a vampire that was messing with him in his dreams. It seems.
Something like that.
And then, of course, there's the running gay jokes with the pirate.
Yeah.
Although I did somewhat get a kick out of the must be fairies moment.
Of the what?
Well, the pirate was supposedly dead.
Yeah.
And he kept saying exactly what Robin Williams said in Hook in order to help Tinker Bell back up. I believe in fairies. I believe
was that when they did? Okay, I was completely. I must have been zoned out. Like I heard the whole clap thing. Like or what you said. I believe in fairies. I heard all that, and I'm like, where the fuck did this come from?
I knew where it was coming from. You just had to get the reference.
No, I got the reference. I didn't get where it happened. I didn't realize the pirate had died. That's what I'm saying. I probably had blocked out.
There was also a moment. There was also a moment that the leprechaun had taken the bra off a chick and fed her to the slime thing that was just sitting in the middle of the room. And
again,
Howard came back into the room and was like, "You know that slime thing is just sitting there, right?
Yeah,
you can come with us."
And yes, that part where that girl was just standing there screaming and flailing her arms because of a blob halfway across the room. I'm like,
I know. I was like, what's that all about?
I'm like, all you have to do is stop screaming and go out the door and you'll be safe. And it was like, I like to joke about the scene in Frankenhooker where the woman just stood there screaming as the lawnmower slowly moves toward her. I'm like, this made that look like that scene annoyed the crap out of me. I was like, and when she died, I was like, you deserve it. You are too stupid to live.
Well, in the next scene, you see her giving a head to the pirate, and the pirate, after the first blowjob, he was like, "That actually felt good. Do it again."
Wasn't that the other random girl they just randomly ran into?
No, that was the same girl who almost got eaten by the slime.
No, there was a girl who did get eaten by the slime.
Well, they made it look like she did, but she was ended up being the girl giving the blowjob.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure about that. She was the same.
And I really wasn't paying much attention to this movie. I don't know. You're talking about stuff I have no memory of.
Well, I guess I have a little bit more memory than I thought I did.
Yeah. Well, go for it. Shit.
But of course they have they still have a guy in there that is holding the court of the king and the queen that had apparently died before with that giant dildo. I guess
Yeah,
he's the
what
man
was
for the
it
land
called?
pudding.
What was it this time? It wasn't a king and queen. It was
It was a clown of some sort. I
no.
thought.
What did they call it?
I
It was some.
I forget what they called
I
it.
can't remember.
I know he said something about pudding.
Yeah, all that stuff about pudding kind of amused me. I don't know why.
And he was whatever he was spouting about sounded Shakespearean. So I thought that at least they had a somewhat thespian in there.
Yeah.
But I do have to admit I did like the musical numbers. For some reason, my favorite out of them was the Buck Pirate one.
That was the one I could have done without. It was pointless and stupid. The first one amused me because it was like wasn't it like a 60s ballad that they turned into this kind of perverted song? And then I think it was the third musical number was the one where the doctor and Sniffles were training Howard how to get rid of evil this time, but they did it as a musical number. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, and of course it was drink the blue whatever,
Right?
shit, and then dip his balls in hot sauce again.
Right.
Or I swear there was something else, but I'm not gonna.
There was. They basically had him do the two things he did before, and then they added a couple things, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you expect him to actually go into a musical number when it goes black and white, but there was a night like a daydream that he was part of. That he, I don't know what the heck he was doing, but he was getting hit by women. He was. I think this was during the time where White Coat Howard
was that the sequence? You talking about the sequence where they cut off his pencil?
Yeah, that sequence. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
That somewhat amused me, and White Coat Howard amused me.
He was somewhat amusing. He was very over
to a point until he got to the Tularoo battle speech, and then he was freaking annoying.
And it's worth noting. It's worth noting that the Mad Doctor just randomly killed off Evil Mute.
Right.
I guess he got bored with him.
And the one even begged that he wanted to live, and he was like, "You want to live?" And he turned around and clubbed his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, even though he's killed everyone, somehow a bunch of his cronies end up gathering everyone up towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think that he's killed everyone, but evidently he's got enough people to grab up everyone that's in Nilbog.
Well, he did make an interesting observation at one point, where it's like he's trying to talk to a zombie, and he's like, "Why did I make an army of people who I can't talk with?"
Right.
Yeah.
All right. If you can bring us forward a little bit, a bit.
Well, I mean, you brought us pretty much to the end where he gets everyone together. That's the end of the plot, really. They end it because the fourth movie is part 2. So this one, and that was another thing. Like, I knew the last one was called Skelton 3 Part 2, but the way you guys, or Brandon at least, I guess, is the one who knows the movie. I was kind of thinking that they were just screwing around with the title. I didn't realize they literally was the second half of the third movie. So I don't know why they needed to split it into two movies. No idea.
I don't know either.
Yeah, it does
But,
kind of end in the middle.
I guess we shall see why
Right.
next week. But now that we've gotten pretty much to the end of the movie, is there anything that anyone wants to talk about of the plot that we haven't talked about yet?
But like I said, I do appreciate while they're on the quote Oregon Trail, they come to a river and they need to ford it. So one of them says, "Oh, I'll go get the wagon," and it shows the animation from the old video game of the covered wagon going partway across the river, then tipping and falling over, and that amused me, and also appreciated it because when I played the card game for the first time, that is what happened to me in the first round of the game. So, the first round, I was out of the game because I failed to ford a river. So I appreciated that they did that in this movie. Although I don't think anyone died of dysentery. At least I don't remember them saying that. Anyway, I guess Dave got kicked off for the moment. What about you, Tammy? Any thoughts at this point?
Well, it was amusing. They had another one of the karate scenes.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. They had to do the random karate scenes.
They had like 5 combatants in this one, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was a bunch of them.
Too many people with falsetto voices.
Right.
Even Howard John Johnson was doing a falsetto voice, and that was somewhat annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, all right. I guess we're at a point where we talk about production.
Okay. Well, par for the course. I mean, I feel like it looks pretty consistent with the last two. They might have had a bigger budget to be able to snag someone like Lloyd Kaufman even for a cameo, but I'm not sure the movie looks terribly different.
I think the only thing in their budget was that they actually had more people. So if they had a bigger budget, that would have helped for all the extra people.
And the doctor dude actually had a laboratory.
True.
Didn't he have a lab in the last one?
Not a big one like this.
Yeah. It felt like it was like a converted warehouse or something, but it could have been. I don't know.
I think it was a converted warehouse of some sort, but it looked better than what he had.
Right. And I still didn't fully recognize any scenes, like locations. I didn't fully recognize anything. I'm still trying to see if there was anything I recognized, but unfortunately. But let's see here. Let's see if we've got a listing here for. No, IMDb doesn't bother with locations. It simply says USA. Okay. Well, we knew that.
Yeah, we could have, but I guess John Johnson wasn't into putting detail into his pages.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought the production was mediocre. I mean, I'm glad that Evil went back to its original colors.
Ish. It's more orange this time.
Yeah, it's more orange this time, but the original suit could have gone through the wash and tie-dyed a little bit.
Right.
For all we know.
We know.
Could have lost its original sauce. But trying to think. I'm really trying to think with this one because they really didn't. When it came to like the creatures. Oh, what was that? A giant M&M that was floating around?
Oh, I don't know what the hell the point of that was.
It kind of reminded me with the sound a little bit, like something that would have been in Crash Bandicoot.
Okay.
Because the way it sounded and the way it spun.
I never did play that.
Yeah, I didn't understand that thing either. I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
I was trying to understand what it was.
I didn't try. I was just like, oh, that's there. Yeah.
Okay. So, to be fair and honest, I would only watch this movie for the boobies. No offense.
Oh, they are one of the highlights. Even that's, in this one at least. That might have been what part of the budget was too, trying to pay people enough to do that. I don't know. But as far as the music, it was kind of more of the same. I feel like it was mostly what we had before, but that end one keeps getting slight variations to it.
I noticed that the Entertainer was in there. These are all like open songs that you can use, and I also seem to remember.
Well, the Entertainer's like the theme song for the Mad Doctor.
Yeah.
I feel like it was more muted this time than in the last two movies. Like you didn't hear it as distinctively. But
yeah. Honestly, a lot of the gratuitous nudity kind of reminded me of like a Benny Hill episode.
The sad thing is, and Dave, I don't know if you've indicated, I know you often are not available when we do the anime discussions. The one that we're doing this on, Quasar of Stigmata, has this movie actually managed to surpass that show for gratuitous nudity, and that's saying something. It's that show has so much nudity, and the circumstances. I mean, the nudity itself doesn't bother me at all, but the circumstances involved make the show kind of icky. And this movie is close, but at least Quasar has a story that tries to stick to. It's like I can't speak highly of either franchise, but
I've got Quasar sitting here somewhere, and I've thought about at least watching it. But when you guys do the anime discussion, normally with my dad, so
yeah, it's unfortunate because if I could be wrong, but I have a feeling you would be the positive voice in the discussion.
I would probably be because I am a fan of nudity in the show. It just depends on how icky it is. Like,
Exactly. Like, again, I think the whole American viewpoint of getting really squeamish about nudity and not giving a damn about violence is stupid and backward and makes no sense. But
see,
this
the way
movie,
you guys are
it's just
sounding
pointless.
the way you guys are sounding about Quasar is almost like did you guys go to a nunnery? I'm sorry, but I see the
You mean in
conversation.
the traditional Shakespearean sense?
Well, I went to public schools, so
Yeah.
and some of them were Lutheran schools, and they weren't even that anal.
Hey, I was raised Lutheran. I know all about. I was raised Lutheran. I went to a Lutheran college. I know all about where they come from. Although, from what I understand, Midwestern Lutheran and general American Lutheran are two different things. From what I understand.
True.
But at any rate, yeah, like I said, there are other issues with Quasar. But here, the big issue is mostly, again, that it's just pointless. Just like everything else about the movie. It's just pointless. It's like John Johnson knew he could get some boobies in, so he did. That's it. It's not like organic to anything. It's just there. And I'm not complaining that it's there. I just don't feel like it really adds much to, I don't know. I know there may be some fans of this movie out there, and I sound like I'm totally shitting on it. I kind of am.
I am a little bit too, because I'm coming from a point where I collected the movies.
Yeah.
And
you overpaid, I'm sure.
I liked the first one. I hadn't gotten around to watching these other two or three or whatnot. They were still sitting in my collection, and I was eventually planning on reviewing them myself.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I waited.
Yeah. It's like I said, I've just gotten to a point where I'm having a hard time making myself watch things I want to see. There's so many things going on in my life. What's that?
The thing about it is I know the director is super, super nice.
Oh, he seems like it. I don't know him, but like just watching this movie, he seems like a chill dude. It's just, he also seems like someone, it's like Kevin Smith seems like a super chill dude, and I respect the man for what he has done. But most of his movies are deeply flawed because he can't rein himself in. And I feel like John Johnson is Kevin Smith times 20 in that regard. You know what I mean?
Except he has zero budget and zero sense of editation.
And frankly, less talent. He seems like a cool dude, but like, in terms of Smith, at least is a really solid writer when he wants to be. Like when he can rein himself in, he's good. I haven't seen evidence yet that Johnson is more than kind of good. But I don't know. Maybe if I see the play,
you can tell he never scripted these.
Yeah. I do want to one day see the Plan 9 remake and see if that's fun, because the original Plan 9 was a pretty horrible movie, but it had its fun to it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Have you guys ever done that on the channel?
We have on my channel. I'm not sure if we've done it. I don't think we've done either one on our channel.
Have you any Ed Wood? I feel like
we have not done any of that.
I feel like doing some Ed Wood on this channel would make sense.
I think it is about time that we probably should, and probably have a Ed Wood themed month. But we have to get past franchise year. It'll probably have to happen next year.
Yeah, probably.
Because we've got the whole entire year planned.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if theoretically, if there was like a 3-movie month, you could probably do Plan 9 from Outer Space, Plan 9, and Ed Wood, the Tim Burton film, and that would probably be a good. But anyway, I guess what else do we have on this one?
Tammy, did you have anything to add with production-wise?
Not really.
Did you even like any of the production?
Did I like any of the what?
Production.
Okay.
Any of the production.
Oh. I mean, I thought it was okay, I guess.
Okay, well, I guess that's all we'll get from her, ladies and gentlemen. So moving on, music. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. It hasn't really changed. It's got the same Earth song in the end. Although I believe in the first one they had it in the beginning and the end.
What?
So just having it in the end.
Oh, the Hearst song? No, they had it beginning and the end this time.
Okay.
I don't remember if they kicked off the end credits with it in the other 2 movies, but they did this time. But they still had the rap after it this time. That was, yeah.
Okay, so nothing really to talk about there.
Right.
But let's go into favorite scenes and our favorite characters.
Yeah.
Tammy, favorite scene or scenes and our favorite characters.
I had a kick out of the songs. I thought they were funny.
What was your favorite one?
Probably the first one when he's talking about it only hurts when I pee.
Oh, right. That's what he said. I couldn't remember what it was.
It only burns when I pee.
Yes.
But if you listen to the other, that's the verse. You know what I mean? But
Right.
yeah, I thought it was amusing.
Right.
And just how, like you said, it was the music itself and everything. It's from like a '60s song, so it made it even funnier.
It sounds like any number of songs. Like he was probably riffing off the songs to say like "It only hurts when I cry," that sort of thing. But
Right.
yeah.
Favorite character? Oh,
Please don't say the leprechaun.
what?
Please don't say the leprechaun.
Okay, the leprechaun though.
You liked the leprechaun?
No. But the dog wasn't in the movie that long, so I can't do him either. He didn't have that much of a part. I don't know. I guess the real Howard, not the white-coat Howard. Favorite scenes? Scene? Oh. I don't know. There's just so many weird things. That's hard to pick one.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of weird things.
Hard to pick just one scene.
Yeah, it's hard to pick one weird thing.
Well, you liked like you like top the music scene with the it burns when I pee.
Yeah.
So,
Sure, the scene was all right. It was funny.
okay, heading over to you, Jake. Favorite character or characters and or favorite scene or scenes.
Well, favorite's such a strong word, but as as far as character, I guess I'm going to have to say White Coat Howard. Regular Howard just annoyed the shit out of me in this movie. Uh, I wanted to like Mandy, but she just was. Yeah, she barely qualified as a character at the end of the day. I like the look of her, but I I'm going to go with White Coat Howard because he did amuse me a little bit. Scenes. I think it only burns with I pee. That was a great musical number. I did enjoy that, but I think the Oregon Trail fording the river sequence would probably be my favorite moment.
Okay, that pretty much it.
Yep.
Okay. I have a couple of favorite characters and from here. One of them is White Coat Howard. There's just something about that particular character that just is that weird, and it's like a total opposite of Howard.
Yeah.
And I actually like the pirate.
Hmm.
I like the pirate. A guy. I thought it was amusing that he stole Howard's underwear and was acting kind of like homosexual towards him just a little bit. And I don't know why, but I enjoyed the whole I believe in fairies moment. I get that it was a homosexual joke and whatnot at the end of the day. It doesn't entirely fly well in this woke community, but
Not entirely.
uh, well, I don't get as offended as the current climate does. Okay, when it comes to this kind of humor,
Yeah.
it's a little dated, and I get that it's not as kosher to joke about it like he was in this movie.
Hmm.
But at least in this day and age, I don't think that even as an independent director, that it would really fly that well with the current culture. But I do like the Butt Pirate song. I don't know why. Don't get me wrong. There, when Howard had to carry him from that Black Betty, Black Madam, for a moment. I don't. I don't know why I was amused. There was a moment where White Coat Howard went and left the sniper party, and he was fondling Mandy's breast for a moment, and he put her hand there, and she kept fondling her breast. For some reason, that amused me. Just a little bit, because when he came back, she was still fondling her breast. So it was a little funny to me, and maybe it's not funny to other people, but it made me chuckle. But like one of the only spots that it made me chuckle. This movie kind of dragged. It was definitely longer than it should have been, and I don't think he was working with his best characters.
No.
So,
Well, and also, one of the reasons why I'm so harsh on the way they did the pirate this time is that it really felt lazy. Like in the last movie, he was kind of going all in with like the pirate mannerisms and all that stuff. And here, it was like he's just walking through the motions. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And a couple of the characters were like that, but I really felt that really with that more than most. But yeah.
I guess I thought because he was taking the pirate thing really seriously in the previous movie, now he was having fun with it. So I guess that's just me, because the music to it kind of was an island like feel, and Howard was singing in the background, and that was kind of weird.
Well, they had a lot of background. Like I think all three of the ones here, they had most of the cast doing like background dancing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Even
I
when it
can
made
see
no
that.
sense, you know.
Now I wonder what they could have done if they would have made it straight musical, the entire quartet.
I probably would have preferred if this had been a straight musical. They had gone all in and just made a musical. It probably would have been more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess at the end of every thing, that's our discussion, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't really have any fancy questions for these guys, because I really don't think this film deserves longer than it has. But I hope that we gave it at least the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully you, ladies and gentlemen that are out there who have made this movie out of print, at least enjoy the movie, and can let us know down in the comments what you thought of our discussion and what you thought of the film yourself. So, at the end of the day, let's tell the audience a little bit about ourselves and what we do. Jake, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I'm Kodabuki Jake. I'm the co-host of the YouTube channel Septum Sim versus the World, where unfortunately my esteemed co-host had to bow out very early because he is not feeling so well. So let's send him all our best wishes, of course, for recovery. We do number of things, occasional pickup videos, and he does a lot of reviews and stuff. I don't usually do too much of that. We, as we mentioned earlier, will have an anime discussion next week. We're pushing it back a little bit on the show, The Quasar Stigmata. We've decided this year to hit longer form anime, and we'll do a month at a time, basically. I think we've all already determined that this will probably be the only month we spend on this particular show. But it'll be an interesting discussion, so tune in next week. Other than that, I do keep very busy, and it's about to get really busy because we are getting into the growing season, and I've actually rented a plot to grow my own vegetable garden at a community garden. So that's going to be keeping me even busier, and it may actually have a very strong impact on my viewing. So I do still try to watch some stuff each week to join these folks for their discussion, and then, of course, the anime discussion as well. And I'm trying to get fully into the writing spirit. I have a novel I've been working on off and on for many years, and I'm currently workshopping it with some folks and trying to get boredom there, hoping to have it ready to go within a few months. And
What genre are you writing in?
It's, I kind of joke, and again, this is a project I've been working on for many, many years. I kind of joke that Heroes stole my idea. And actually, at this point, a number of individuals have stolen my idea. But essentially, it's fantasy, but it's like fantasy in the real world, if that makes sense. Like fantasy elements, but I'm trying for a relatively realistic setting. And it's going to include a lot of interesting elements, different types of creatures, different magic use, other abilities.
Okay.
I'm being fairly vague, but hopefully, as we get closer, I'll be happy to be a little more open on that. And honestly, it is. I'll do a quick little plug. And I guess Dave, you'll probably want to do a plug too. I know you and Brandon have gotten into your songwriting lately, and I've actually been listening to some of Brandon's work, and it's interesting. And to be honest, has inspired me. I've dabbled with songwriting myself over the years. Not written much I'm proud of, but I'm tempted to really, if nothing else, I'm looking at it as a writing exercise to help me with working on the novel. But he and I did write one called The Children's Garden. Nice, lovely tune there. And I'm thinking I might try to do what you guys are doing and get a couple of these out there. So we'll see how.
Definitely.
Yes.
Once you get started, I guarantee you it's addicting. But,
Yeah. I have mixed feelings about the use of AI in the arts, period. But I do have to admit that if nothing else, it gives you, I look at it as sort of like demo tapes, if you will. And Brandon's demo tapes are actually fun to listen to. So,
well,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with riding around in your own vehicle listening to your own tunes. So
exactly. It's not like the lyrics were written by AI. That's actually legit writing. So,
But
yeah.
in any case, heading over to you, Tammy. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I go on this channel and another one with David and watch movies and listen to other people's opinions. And some movies I've never watched before, and some I have. And it gets interesting to see some of them and to hear what people have to say. And that's about it right now until the nice weather hits.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's starting to get here.
Okay. Well, as some of you may know, my name is David Streggy. I'm one of the founding fathers of Inside Movies Galore. So thank you for coming along with us on this fantabulous journey that we've been having. Hopefully, I managed to explain a little bit of this film to you, public people. In a way that is explanatory. It's hard to explain a movie such as this. So, fare thee well and pleasant journeys if you want to check it out. But I do moonlight under a different channel called Delusions of Grandeur, where I do similar things. Go on another podcast that happens every Sunday. And we just recently had a discussion that I put forward on a movie called Wishmaster. And I guess this coming Sunday we'll be doing the final film in the American Ring franchise called Rings. I know I've only seen it once, so it'll be interesting to see it again and discuss it for the conclusion's sake. And I guess we'll see how that goes. But I do some video pickups from time to time and video reviews. I know we're gearing up for an adventure time possible discussion in the future. I know Brandon and I are concluding or trying to get the finalities of the second anthology finished. I've got a few things to add. We got some credits to put together and some final finishings to it. But it should be within the next month. Probably we'll have a release. So just got to get some things done there. But other than that, hopefully you check out either one of our channels here, Delusions of Grandeur and Inside Movies Galore, and everyone say good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Inside Movies Galore, just makes you just want